Tuesday, September 10th. The 49ers are 1-0. Welcome to Damon Bruce Plus, brought to you by Ike's Sandwiches, and it is fantastic to have you back here. Drop a like on this live stream early on. Help it grow, help it reach the world of YouTube in all corners. Thank you so very much. Please go ahead and hit subscribe if you're down with the program like that. I see right away Joseph Sullivan has become a member of the initiated. Thank you very much, Joseph Sullivan. Appreciate that. Thanks to all of you for being here. Welcome, one and all, and welcome back to football season. What an impressive start, all things considered, for the San Francisco 49ers on Monday Night Football. That really, it did what it needed to do. They did what they needed to do, and they did it without one of the most valuable weapons, and two of their weapons having not even done jumping jacks in the offseason, basically. For Trent Williams to come out there and basically play every snap of that game, that's pretty impressive. There was nothing impressive about Brandon Ayuk other than the fact we all know that he's going to play himself into a better version of himself that we saw last night. Probably a scotch overused for Jordan Mason and Deebo Samuel, but now we're just looking for things to complain about. Jordan Mason got the used rental car treatment out of Kyle Shanahan. He was like overused a little bit. I'm surprised Patrick Taylor didn't get a carry or two along the way, but no harm, no foul. And even though there was like a bad taste left in Jordan Mason's mouth, because he got yelled at for sharing when he was told, I don't know what happened, and I really don't care what happened when it comes to why, was Jordan Mason upset there in his post-game press conference. But, it's sort of a sour note to an otherwise extraordinary night for him. A truly extraordinary night for Jordan Mason. And because of him, because of Dominic Puni, because of an offensive line that did its job all night long, over 100 rushing yards in between the tackles, Dominic Puni, we see you. Dominic Puni, you have helped this team reach a little something we like to call maximum football. Pretty damn impressive. Pretty damn impressive, Dominic Puni and that offensive line. And the 49ers are now tied with the Pittsburgh Steelers for the most wins ever on Monday Night Football. They're 1-0 for the 9th time in their last 13 seasons. Kyle is now 2-0 against the Jets all time. The 49ers are 12-3 against the New York Jets. And that is the first Week 1 home win for the 49ers since back in 2016. So pretty damn good way to get the year started against a team that is a legitimate team. Are the Jets oversold, overhyped? Sure, they're definitely part of that. But that's a good football team. It's certainly not a bad football team. And the 49ers controlled the game all night long. Controlled the game all night long. The 49ers had 8 consecutive scoring possessions, either a touchdown or a field goal. And look, we know what Moody hit 6 field goals last night, probably a few too many field goals. I know that that's a talking point of, the complaint department today. Field goals will kick you out of winning games more than they'll kick you into the win column. And I agree with some of that, unless you have 6 of them. That's pretty tough to overcome. The 49ers scored on 8 consecutive possessions, marking their longest scoring streak for the team since 1978. Again, the 49ers have not scored on that many possessions in a row since I was 3 years old. I'm 49 years old. So that was pretty significant, I would say. And for that to happen in a Week 1, with rust and injuries dotting the concerns of the game, that is pretty damn impressive, all things considered. I think it really is. Again, Mason, 28 carries for a career-high 147 yards, a touchdown. His 28 carries, the most by any Niner running back since Frank Gore had 31 against Cleveland like a million years ago. That is an awful lot of a young man in a coming out party that went incredibly well for him. It really did. Debo, 5 passes, carried the ball 8 times for 23 yards. His touchdown was his 20th rushing touchdown of his career, which is the most by any position player listed as wide receiver since 1960, since before I was born. So Debo proved that he's a weapon. We saw Kyle Juszczyk reveal himself as a valuable weapon in that game last night. Fred Warner is one of the best defensive weapons in football. His forced fumble now gives him 12, which is the second most forced fumbles in the history of the 49ers. Only Patrick Willis, who forced 16 of them, has more. And I'll tell you, that was some of these guys were drafted really high level win. And that was some of these guys have come out of nowhere to help the 49ers across the finish line. And maybe the single most interesting stat coming out of that game is that the 49ers are now the only team in the NFL in the Super Bowl era to get 200 passing yards, a 125-yard rushing game, a 50-yard receiving game, and an interception from 4 players who were drafted 200th or later or weren't even drafted at all. We're talking about Brock Purdy, Mason, Jennings, and Flanagan Fowles. So if the job is, no matter where the player comes from, coach him up, get him ready to play on the field, boy, does Kyle do that. He has absolutely done that. An impressive night, all things considered, for the San Francisco 49ers. Actually, it's even more impressive with all things considered for the San Francisco 49ers. How about that punch out, right? You're right, Gizmo Maltese. That punch out, that peanut punch, that was just fantastic. It's crazy, writes Gareth. It's crazy that Leonard Floyd injured Aaron Rodgers last season in the first game, and he got a sack of Aaron Rodgers last night. It is his 11th sack of Aaron Rodgers. His first sack, obviously, as a member of the 49ers, but that's the most of any active player against an active quarterback in the NFL. Leonard Floyd has sacked Aaron Rodgers more than any player has sacked any quarterback in this league right now. So he's got a little bit of his number for sure. And, I told you a lot of this game would go into what's Aaron Rodgers look like. How good does Aaron Rodgers look? There were moments where he did look good. There were also moments where you saw, there's Aaron yelling at his teammates. There's Aaron kind of going daubered down. There's Aaron. He's still got the arm strength, but his mobility seems to have escaped him. Not that he was in an awful lot of in-pocket jeopardy. He still knows how to move around the pocket. Aaron Rodgers isn't who he used to be, but he's still Aaron Rodgers, and he can uncork a few really nice-looking passes. And he was beating the 49ers on a few third downs there, especially on that drive where they officially got going and scoring for the first time in the game. And then the 49ers just took over. They really strangled that game with that, what was it, an 11-play, 70-yard drive that opened the second half. And at that point, the 49ers really never looked back or took their foot off the neck of the New York Jets, other than the one moment late in the game where they decided instead of going forward on 4th and 1, they took a field goal. Okay, I can understand how you would want to talk about that or re-examine that. Okay, I'm not even here to argue with you about it. But Trent Williams did jog off the field before that 4th down play, which was the field goal, not an obvious play there. And he took an IV, and maybe that had something to do with it. I don't know. But the Niners won. They won going away. They won with 400 yards of offense and 1 punt. They scored on 8 consecutive possessions. This is good football. That is a well-coached football team. And there's just no denying how good these guys are when they are healthy. And without a healthy Christian McCaffrey, I don't know if you can even make the argument that they're healthy. But with what we saw out of Jordan Mason on Monday Night Football, if McCaffrey can't go in Minnesota, I'm okay with it. I think you should be okay with it. Jordan Mason looks to be a starting caliber running back who just happens to be the second running back on this team's depth chart. That is an embarrassment of backfield riches. Let's see Patrick Taylor, what he's got. Let's see what eventually Isaac Guerrero can give this team from out of the backfield. Leaning on Jordan Mason that much in week 2, I don't think is the way to go. but it certainly got the job done in week 1. That is the most amount of carries, again, any 49er running back has had since the days of Frank Gore, for goodness sakes. It is great to have you here. Thank you for being here today. Really appreciate it. You want to support this channel? It's real simple. You can do it in ways that cost absolutely nothing. All you got to do is hit like and subscribe. That supports the channel greatly. You want to hit notify as well? Man, that helps the channel grow too. There is no doubt about that, and we thank you for it when you do it. If you really want to get into helping the channel, membership's indeed available. We break for super chats and always appreciate them very, very much. But I want you to go out and take care of my sponsors. I want you to start by thinking of lunch plans right now with my man Ike. Ike of Ike Sandwiches has a delicious sandwich with your name waiting on it. As actually, one of his sandwiches has my name on it. Go get a Damon Bruce, a Jamie Sirewich. Go get an Adam Richmond. Go get an Elvis Keith. His sandwiches are absolutely spectacular, and I don't want you to just think about Ike's for lunch. I want you to think about it for dinner, and I want you to start thinking about the fact that Ike has a great promotion that is running right now. Each and every Saturday between now and August 5th, Ike is offering $3 off every sandwich, whether you use the online Ike's app and enter the promo code SAT3, meaning you can save $3 on a Saturday for every sandwich at Ike's using promo code SAT3, or you can walk into a location and say, hey, SAT3, it's a Saturday, save me $3 on that sandwich, and they'll do it too, except at the Santa Rosa, San Mateo, and Redwood City locations. But this offer is only available on Saturdays. There's never a wrong time to eat Ike's. Saturdays, the best time to eat Ike's if you want to save $3 along your way to delicious. We've also got our friends at the Dubliner West Portal. Hopefully they had a great crowd in for Monday Night Football. It's always a great crowd gathering at the Dubliner because it's a great bar on a great part of town. West Portal is the most underrated block in San Francisco. It truly is. And the Dubliner West Portal is an awesome bar. Thanks to them for their support, for being a part of this show. We appreciate it an awful lot. And when it comes to, again, sponsoring live streams, we got our friends at BetUS. Check out BetUS right now. We will dive into some looking forward to week 2 bets on Wednesday's show. We're going to get into that tomorrow, but right now on BetUS, they are offering 125% on your first 3 deposits. 150% deposit match on your first 3 deposits up to $2,000 when you use promo code YouTube150. YouTube150 is your promo code to get 150% deposit match. First 3 deposits up to $2,000 over on BetUS. Happy gaming. We will get into some odds tomorrow surrounding week 2. An impressive win. Again, a really good start for the San Francisco 49ers. There's no sneezing at that. That's a good football team, man. They beat a good football team. There's no doubt about that. Are the Jets oversold? Are the Jets overhyped? Yes and yes. There's no doubt about that as well. But it's exactly the start the team needed. Precisely the start the team needed. Again, we're off to a very good start here. Hit like and subscribe, my friends. We only got 52 likes. Come on, we can do a little bit better than that. It is effortless to hit that like button. It's not going to mean that my videos are now invading your YouTube page all the time. It just means this show, this live stream grows and goes places. So, look, I wanted to share a couple of from Bosa's. Hold on. Why is that sound coming through? Hold on. We were going to get here anyways. Okay, this isn't a hold. Bosa's not being held. No flag there. Come on. Okay, this isn't a hold. Bosa's not being held. No flag there. Come on. So I put that video out as a short last night, and Bosa's not being held. I mean, no flag I didn't know that you were allowed to grab somebody by the neck and pull them backwards. This isn't a hold. Bosa's not being held. No flag there. Come on. It's that.
Okay,
No
this isn't
flag
this isn't
on
a hold.
that play.
Bosa's not being held.
And
No
if I'm
flag
Kyle
there.
Shanahan,
Come on.
I am talking about Nick
Okay,
Bosa being held
this isn't a hold.
at every
Bosa's
single
not
press
being
conference.
held. No flag
every
there.
single time
Come
Kyle
on.
sees a microphone,
Okay,
he
this
should
isn't
talk about
this isn't a hold.
poorly officiated.
Bosa's not being
his
held. No
starting
flag
defensive
there.
end is.
Come
I don't care
on.
how many fines he piles
Okay,
up,
this
how
isn't
many
a
times he
this
gets
isn't
in
a
trouble.
hold.
Look at that
Bosa's not
bullshit.
being held. No flag there.
Again,
Come
there's holding could be called on every play.
This isn't a hold.
What, the most
Bosa's
obvious
not being
thing
held.
you
No
possibly
flag there.
see?
Come
The most-
on.
This does not look
Okay,
normal
this isn't
football
a
play
this isn't a
of the
hold.
football season
Bosa's
so
not
far.
being held. No flag there.
Flag
Come
on a legal
on.
formation. But the
Okay,
fact
this
that
isn't
there
a
wasn't an
this isn't
official
a
picking
hold.
up a second
Bosa's
flag
not being
for
held.
that
No flag there.
means
Come
something
on.
is a little odd.
Okay, this
all
isn't
right?
this isn't a hold.
I'm telling
Bosa's
you, I don't
not
know
being
who
held.
is
No
the
flag
worst
there.
officiated.
Come on. Okay, this isn't
Bay Area
this isn't a hold.
superstar.
Bosa's not being held. No flag there. Come on.
I think it's Steph Curry.
Okay, this isn't a
Given
isn't a
all
hold.
the years we've seen Steph Curry get no calls. But Nick Bosa is trending in that direction, and it is absolutely absurd. Damon, the video's still going. We're trying to figure things out here. Trying to figure things out. But isn't that ridiculous? I mean, isn't that seriously ridiculous? No flag. No flag. Make it stop. Sorry. Was it going the whole time since the show started? I hope not. Anyways, that's a chokehold. That's a chokehold. Red Jet. She's like, not good. No, not good. Not good at all. Not good at all there. There's another video that I did want to show you. I saw this one released this morning from Brian Baldinger, and I said, we got to spend a little time with our good friend Baldy here. We're gonna put our friend Brian Baldinger right on this YouTube page right here and look at him breaking down last night's game. He just says Brock Purdy, who, again, Brock did not have a great night. But as Brian Baldinger would tell you, more often than not, this guy is good enough. Let me hit you with a little Brian Baldinger breakdown of Brock Purdy's evening. This is a well-spent 2 minutes. Enjoy.
That's how the 49ers create matchups and how Brock Purdy understands what they're doing. All right, that's Jawan Jennings going out wide to a bunch. Jets and man coverage. All right, now, you have to throw these passes on rhythm and timing. Remember now, right here, they got Ayuk on the safety. Ayuk didn't go to training camp. He hasn't been there. He's been there for a couple of days. This throw right there is out of Purdy's hands, right to a spot. All right, beating the safeties. All right, there you go. Now you get this right here. All right, here comes Kittle in motion. Now, watch how they attack the safeties here. They anticipate the cover two shell right here, and they're going to attack both safeties. And watch how it just expands the defense right here. Ayuk and Jennings. Now, look at this hole that Jennings has to throw. Now, the protection's perfect, and he gets the ball to Jennings perfect. All right, now let's watch this. Sometimes you just got to play quarterback. This is a 7-step drop from under center. Just count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now step up, hitch, step. But here comes Solly Thomas. Now you got to play quarterback. There's Ayuk. How can I get it to Ayuk right here? With Solly all over me. Oh, yep. Bam. 2nd and 9, 10 yards, first down. Got to play quarterback. Now you get this right here. You get this bunch here. It's 3rd and 4. Now, again, you got to play. You got to get the ball out of your hands, and you got to throw it with anticipation. They got exactly what they want. There's Jennings making the break at 5. The ball's perfectly thrown. Perfect. You can talk about all the systems you want. This is 2nd and 9, late 3rd quarter right here. Here you go. All the movement goes with Mason. Watch. Kittle, Pooney. Oh, that's Debo right there. Little fake to Debo, right? All the Jets are moving. The defense line doesn't know what to do. They don't know what to. They're just standing there. And here comes Jennings, wide open. I mean, it's everything. It's Purdy. It's the motions. If there's a shift, there's a motion every play. There's the design, and then they know exactly what they're attacking for these first downs.
Now imagine for a second. You had a YouTube channel where all you tried to do was talk about how ineffective Brock Purdy would be anywhere else. You telling me those skills aren't translatable? You telling me that Brock Purdy could only find success with the San Francisco 49ers? It seems like everybody insists that Brock Purdy should be held to some mythical standard, which means he would have to play like this on every single NFL team. He's not on every NFL team. He's only on one. He can only be on one at a time, and he is the perfect fit for this team. And he has skills that don't only fit the 49ers, but they fit the working actual concept of how quarterbacks play successful football around the league. Would he be in position on another roster that is similar to the position he's on here? I don't know, and I don't care. And that only exists in some mythical land of thinking about sports. I'm not interested in what you think about sports. I'm interested in what is actually happening. What is actually happening is Brock Purdy, on a night where he didn't turn the ball over but threw no touchdowns as well, protected the ball, made plays on third down, is making the right reads, is fundamentally sound. I mean, the kid can play. I am not going to be relitigating who deserves their job on this roster each and every show, after each and every game. Everyone wants to reapply. Could we have Brock Purdy reapply for the position of starting quarterback? Could we have Kyle Shanahan reapply for the position of head coach? Because I didn't like that last play. And I'll just wipe away, everything that we've seen from this team because I didn't like that last play. There's a lot of amateurs out there trying to talk football who just don't understand what they're looking at. This is a really good team. They're really good. And they weren't even, I think, playing their best football. Not even close. Not even close to their best football. I love Brian Baldinger breakdowns. That guy understands. 100% understands things that a lot of people do not understand. His breakdowns they're some of the best. If you want to be smart as a football fan, go follow Brian Baldinger on Twitter. That guy knows what he's talking about. That guy absolutely knows what he's talking about. Damon, Smiley Dan, saying, this happened last night, too. You need to cut that sound, but I like the video integration. Last night, we looked at the box score right away, too. That was cool. Again, I'm learning. By the time it's the year 2036, I should have this YouTube thing down. Absolutely. Oh, imagine if I could be paired with a producer. Imagine what we could do. But we'll get there. The Shaw. Love Baldy. I love Baldy too, man. He will hopefully be joining us on the channel soon. Thank you very, very much to Joseph Sullivan. Death taxes and no Bosa holding calls. What do the Niners have to do to bring attention to this crap? Lip service. Lip service. I think Kyle Shanahan needs to talk about anytime he sees one of these. Anytime there is a microphone, Joseph, one of these right here in front of Kyle Shanahan, he needs to be talking about how his guy is held on almost every play and every snap he has out on the field. I mean, seriously, it's becoming an epidemic that this is happening to Nick Bosa every game. Like, this is what happened in the Super Bowl. It's what happens in the week 1 game the following year. It's what happened in the previous Super Bowl. It's what happens all the time. If you can call holding on every play, how come it can't be called on Nick Bosa, apparently on any play? I really don't understand that. By the way, is this not so far the season of illegal formation? I've seen more illegal formation flags in 1 week of football than I think I've seen in the last 3 years of football. William Bruneau. William, good to see you in here. Thanks very much. Like and subscribe, brother. He says the offensive line was awesome in the run game. They opened up over 100 rushing yards just in between the tackles. And again, I can't help but notice that's where Dominic Pooney plays. He is in between those tackles. And look how much better this team looked. Again, did you hear Christian Wilkins' name last night? Or Quinnen Williams, excuse me. Did you hear Quinnen Williams' name last night? I didn't. I'm not even sure he made the trip. That's Dominic Pooney. That's interior offensive line play. BC. Purdy is not him. What does that even mean? What does that mean? So you're telling me a kid who usually ends up deep in the playoffs in every year we've seen him play, you not sold? Not sold? Okay. All right, whatever you think. If you're a 49er fan, what the fuck are you looking at or hoping to root for that happens? What do you want all of a sudden the Kansas City Chiefs to trade Patrick Mahomes to the 49ers? Would that make you happy? If you can't see the value and the fun of rooting for Brock Purdy, you must be giving Grant Cohn's channel a blowjob every single chance you can. And you are just the most spun around, misinformed, poorly advised 49er fan humanly possible. Brock Purdy can play, and your opinion to the contrary is now just falling upon the dumbest of ears. Brock Purdy's not him. What the fuck? Not him. What are you, a prostitute talking about his pimp? Uh-oh, him is here. Look out now. What are you talking about? Not him. What is him? He is him. They are them. We are us. Are you you? It's the dumbest phrase in sports. Seriously, I wish for you an understanding that you seem to lack. Should you be conferring that Brock Purdy is the single greatest quarterback that has ever played for the San Francisco 49ers? No, not at this time. But you should be able to say out loud that he is off to a better start than any quarterback this franchise has ever had at the beginning of his career, and he's got not an opinion to suggest it, he's got the results to prove it. Again, you can't be screaming into the wind of already realized results. Like, your opinion cannot trump things that are actually happening in football games. It just can't. You know, you cannot be in an alternative reality. The 49ers came out on a night where it didn't seem like they would be able to be in rhythm because of their choppy offseason, because of no Ayuk, no Trent Williams. What they did last night without Christian McCaffrey seemed like they're probably not going to come out and execute the way that they did. They executed to the point of they punted once with 400 yards of offense. Punted once. 400 yards of offense. Better than 30 points on the New York Jets. That's a hell of a night of football. That is a hell of a night of football. Alexander Boy Entertainment. Let's go, Damon, out here in Boulder Creek making deliveries from the Central Coast. Hell yeah. Get those deliveries out there, Alexander. That's a tough job. That's a tough job, man. Our buddy Carl Buszczyk, counting down the home games remaining for his Oakland A's. I know it's Maximum Football. Can we please address the John Fisher latest con? I have literally not looked at baseball, not for a millisecond. I can't even begin to tell you what the Giants have done in their last few games, since I haven't paid any attention to baseball since Friday night. What is John Fisher's latest bullshit, Carl? You tell me. I have no idea. For the sake of my own happiness, I can't pay attention to them anymore. So I do not know what John Fisher's latest bullshit is, but I'm sure it's of his own creation, and fuck that guy. I don't even know. And sadly, I no longer even care. Everyone's worst nightmare says Rams are doo-doo. Look, Rams got some injuries against Detroit that could haunt them. And one of the bits of NFL news that we need to talk about today that is not Niners related is the fact that Puka Nacua is going on IR with a knee injury from Sunday Night Football. He's got a PCL sprain and will be out at least a month. At least a month. Puka Nacua is an important piece of that Rams offense. Now, Cooper Kupp Had a monster game. But man, Puka Nacua is a young, talented player that you don't want to lose at any point in time in the season. By the way, in other IR news, since we're the other stuff around the league, Jordan Love is not going to IR. That's good news, I guess, if you're a Packers fan, but they're going to have some deep water to tread without him. And then the other story is about DeShaun Watson. And the stories that are coming out about DeShaun Watson, they ain't good. Just like him as a quarterback these days, they ain't good. I mean, the Cleveland Browns are actually physically carrying the single worst contract in the history of football. Because DeShaun Watson seems to be now a bad quarterback, and he seems to be as much of an absolute horrific human being who learned no lessons through his public humiliation. And that's concerning. The latest on DeShaun Watson, according to Pro Football Talk, is that he was sued in Houston for sexual assault and battery and intentional infliction of emotional distress. The accusations are strikingly similar to those made against Watson in more than 20 lawsuits filed in 2021. However, the plaintiff in this new case, who filed under the name Jane Doe, contains that she went on a date with Watson. Most of, if not all, other cases arose from a paid massage that Watson had arranged. Apparently, according to the story, DeShaun Watson was going to a woman's apartment to pick her up, to go out on a date. She gives poor directions or the wrong address or whatever, and so he calls her angry that he can't find her house. She talks him into the apartment or whatever. She's still getting ready. She's in the bathroom. She's talking to DeShaun Watson, but he's not answering. So she comes out of the bathroom to find him allegedly laying naked, butt naked, face down on his bed saying, "I want you to rub my butt." DeShaun Watson, he likes ass play. There's no doubt about that, man. He doesn't need a doctor to get his prostate checked. DeShaun Watson likes it when girls put fingers in his booty, and he wants that. And he then flips over, full erection. And this fucking monster should be thrown out of the goddamn NFL. He's a piece of shit human being. He really is. DeShaun Watson sucks. As a human, as a person, as someone who you'd never want to take your daughter out on a date. I mean, DeShaun Watson seems like a massive fucking asshole who had one attribute to offer society. He's an exciting quarterback, and he doesn't even seem to be that anymore. So fuck that guy. He seems awful. Andy707 says, "Man, I'm ordering a Pony jersey right now." Hey, you know what to go along with that jersey? Why don't you think about a helmet? Maybe you're not going to wear a helmet like you'd wear a jersey. But in the description of this live video, I want to call attention to my other new sponsor that I'm thrilled to be an affiliate with, greengridiron.com. And if you go to the website using the link that's in the description of this live stream, use promo code Bruce at checkout and you will save money. Check out that bad boy right there. That's from Green Gridiron. Green Gridiron has the largest collection of helmets, I think, in the world. Any college team that you could think of, any pro team that you could think of, any alternate helmet that you could think of. And we're talking all the way down from little miniature helmets to you can wear this in an actual football game helmet. They have something that I don't think any other, helmet company has. They're the best place to buy your favorite college and pro team's helmet. You can get a replica helmet for a fraction of the price of a real, you can wear this in an NFL game level of a helmet. And if all it's going to do is sit on your desk, look at that. Are you telling me that this is a real or replica helmet? Which is it? Exactly. So if you're looking for something to put on the shelf, if you're looking for something that is an awesome Christmas present for one of your kids, the football fan in your life, instead of getting another jersey, I want you to go to greengridiron.com, use promo code Bruce at checkout to save some cash, and look at what they've got. And then the customized helmets. I mean, the options go to infinity with their customized helmets. They have every single collectible mini helmet. They have an incredible variety of face masks if you want to trick out your own helmet. The team name, the bumper, the logo, helmet stickers, they got everything in the helmet universe. Check out Green Gridiron on, you use the link that is in the description of this live stream. And I think you're going to like it. Dominic Pooney jersey. I like the number 77 too. It looks clean. I would get a Pooney jersey. There's not a lot of offensive linemen who, the fans want to rock that jersey. Shit's legit, man. Damon, are we going to get a sip of the day? Well, actually, here's the thing. I was up early with Larry. I've already had a coffee, but if you need an official sip of the day, I'll give you one because we do have coffee in the cup. I ran upstairs to get a full one. Fantastic. Fantastic. CJ Gray says Purdy had a very good game last night. I'll take the very out of that. Purdy had a good game last night. He made no mistakes. That offense stayed on schedule for the most part. He's good. He's really good. He is him. I am you. Thank you, Rockin' New Era 84. I am you. You are me. We are us. They are them. We are they. And he is him. It's the worst phrase to be introduced into sports coverage since Tiger Woods said a game, and then everybody in America went to describe a good day of work as I was on my A game. It is what it is. It is what it is. That is the single worst entry. It is what it is. The single worst entry into the lexicon of phrases overused too much in sports. I feel like we're starting to trend away from that at least. Oh, we've reached the Fuck John Fisher portion of the chat here. Again, I don't even know what he did. What's the latest that he did? I'll go find out later. Oh, wait, here we go. Carl's explaining it. The A's are not guaranteeing that playoff games will be played in Sacramento. What, are they going to come back to Oakland? Wouldn't that be something if they tried to come back to Oakland to use the Coliseum? Sacramento was a decision that Major League Baseball should have never allowed to happen. Everyone who has their fingers on this decision, I'm only going to say they got blood on your hands, but you got stupid on your hands. This whole thing is so incredibly stupid. John Fisher should have been fired into the sun by other major league owners. Have the A's been sold to somebody who is so much better at being a billionaire than that fucking douchebag is, and that would have been the end of it. But the A's are not guaranteeing playoff games will be played in Sacramento. Well, how about this? I don't think the A's in playoff games is going to be an equation that many people need to worry about anytime soon. That's one of those we really still don't have much to worry about here, Carl. I hate to say it, but their incompetence, their horrible nature as a football program, as a baseball team, probably prevents that from ever becoming an issue. Football is king. Sorry, babe. Dude, football is king. It's the kingdom. It's the castle. It's the dragon protecting the castle in the moat. It's every night at the round table. I mean, baseball. Is that close enough? This is Major League Baseball. This is Major League Baseball right here. Can you see that? Can you see that? By the way, Jordan Mason could have run through that space. Jordan Mason would have turned this into 4 yards last night. But this is Major League Baseball. This is the NFL. You can't even see that space, right? Scared intuition. We coming for everybody this year. And make no mistakes about it. Everybody's coming for the 49ers, man. Everybody's coming for the 49ers. So they will not have any easy weeks of football just waiting for them. But they're good enough to turn games into that was easier than we thought. And honestly, that's what they did in week 1. They beat the Jets easier than I thought that they were going to. G-Man Music, I totally agree. Hate to see injuries regardless of who it is. You know, any sports fan worth their salt as a real man or woman wants to take on their opponent at full strength while you're at full strength. You want the best of everybody. You don't want some muted version of a team. Because even if you then beat that team, you're going to have a group of fans who say, well, you didn't really beat the team. You beat the backups. Well, that's what happens. This is about survival. And if the 49ers can field a relatively injury-free football team this season, there is no doubt in my mind that they can return to the Super Bowl as easily as any team out there has a possibility of returning or appearing into a Super Bowl. The Niners weren't even set up to play as well as they did last night, and they did it anyway. Chef A. DeShaun Watson, terrible. He sucks. Yeah. I mean, he just feels like an absolute horrific person to be around. And it is so Cleveland that they would essentially plunge their franchise into one of the worst trades ever for one of the worst contracts ever handed out in the history of sports, to then sit back and watch Baker Mayfield start to cook down in Tampa. Baker Mayfield had as good of a week 1 as any quarterback in the league. And you got DeShaun Watson. It's perfect. You know what? I will take this advice from G-Man Music. Please don't use the word arouse in a sentence regarding DeShaun. Yeah, okay. I'll do that. I will do that. Uh-oh. P. Diddy calling Watson. Isn't Kanye in that group too? Sorry. Rockin' New Era 84. Watson says, what in the butt? I haven't thought of that video. I haven't thought of that since the South Park episode where they put Butters into that role. And Butters is doing the what in the butt video. That is funny, Rockin' New Era 84. I think DeShaun Watson should be in fucking jail. I hope he has to go to prison this time. And the dead cap money that Cleveland looks at is just going to be like the single biggest mistake on the lake in the history of mistakes on the lake. Sean Turner is like, man, these jokes write themselves sometimes. They sure do. They sure do. Everyone's worst nightmare says that Mason jersey, hot a fire. Yeah, you could pick up a Mason jersey and feel really good about it, right? Absolutely. Damon says, Damon, have you been to the website? Those suckers sold out damn near the Niner ones, that is. Well, they'll be making more. They'll be coming back. Trust me. And you know what? If they're selling out, that means my audience has been buying Niners gear from them. And I thank you very, very much. I've had several people in the chat say that they've been to greengridiron.com and they've already ordered their Niners helmets. That's awesome. Thank you very much. That's how you support the channel, baby. That's how you support what we are doing over here. And I thank you very much. Pooney, a Pro Bowler in 3 years. I mean, based on what I saw last night, Garrett, that might not take that long. It might not take that long. Bang, bang, Damon Bruce gangs. Thank you very much. Appreciate that, Ted. Joe Flacco is watching DeShaun Watson like John Lovitz behind the curtain in The Wedding Singer. Sporticus. He totally is. Oh, I love John Lovitz. Yeah, I'm a big it's lazy speech. It is what it is, drives me insane. It's like instead of exercising my vocabulary or even trying to explain what might be the answer to your question, I'm going to say it is what it is and just, slide on out of the conversation. I hate it too. Absolutely hate it too. Smiley Dan, you're totally right here. By the way, now we should all be rooting for the A's to make the playoffs just to watch that shithead Fisher wallow in his mess. Wouldn't that be great? So, okay. It's so good to have football back. It's so Cleveland, Damon, James. It's so Cleveland. It really is. It really is. Ooh, this isn't bad either. DeShaun Epstein. Thank you, Sean Hensley. DeShaun Epstein. And I would agree here. I would agree. Butters is the best. Butters is my favorite ancillary South Park character. I love Butters. I love Butters. Lou, 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 I got some apples. Lou, Lou, Lou. Okay. Shush. Would like a maximum football.
Maximum football.
So I would like some maximum likes. We haven't even eclipsed 100 likes on this show yet. Come on. JJ Raider saying Butters and Jimmy. Love Jimmy too. So I was going to save this for the end of the show. R.I.P. Darth Vader. James Earl Jones passing away. Was he 93? His monologue from Field of Dreams is one of the greatest monologues any movie has ever had in it. James Earl Jones lived a life of distinction as an actor, as a human, as a person. Love James Earl Jones. Love James Earl Jones. Rest in peace to him. I mean, what a voice, right? I mean, we have not had a vocal depth, a vocal death of this impact since Aretha Franklin died. Like the silencing of Aretha Franklin's voice, America lost value that day. The silencing of James Earl Jones, as a country, we have lost a little bit of our value without that guy. Just the best. This is CNN. That'll never go away, right? That'll never go away. We are now over 100 likes. Thanks, everybody, for heeding the call. Look at this. We're big in Helsinki, everybody. Yeah, Flam. Big in Helsinki. I've always said we will have officially made it when we got Helsinki on the radar. It's good to have you here, Helsinki. I want you to call yourself Helsinki Flam from now on. Thank you very, very much. They will come, Ray. And the I'm your father. Did you? The single best tribute to James Earl Jones. The single best tribute to James Earl Jones came from Mark Hamill, who just said, "Rest in peace, Dad." Perfect. So, look, as far as I'm concerned, there is no other sport to even bother talking about right now. A's drama aside, whatever the Giants are doing, like, I officially don't even care at this point. It's all football, baby. But we have reached the end. Damian LaRoche says, I'm listening from Ike's house. Really? You hanging out with Ike? That's my man right there. I imagine he has everything you need in his refrigerator to make a great sandwich. So take advantage of that, of being a guest of Casa del Ike. So no other sports really matter right now, but we will officially have our Today in History. Are you ready? We'll get into Club Plus a little bit later on. We will get into I will do a Club Plus tomorrow, and I think, you know what, on Thursday, we might open it up to a videos. We'll just do some video chats together. It's been a while since we've been taking calls. We'll do that a little bit later on this week. And here we go. Damien says, hey, man, we used to bowl together. That's your boy. Well, thank you, Damien. That's my boy, too. That is my boy, too. Today in history. Couple of big names in sports history. Today, in 1929, he would pass away in 2016. But today in 1929, Arnold Palmer was born. Arnold Palmer, Arnie's Army, was a level of golf fame no one ever saw coming. I mean, it would be impossible to explain to anybody how popular Arnold Palmer was to the golf world after we've seen Tiger Woods, right? But Arnold Palmer was the capital M-A-N man for a generation of golf fans. And a gentleman, an ambassador of the game. And one of my single favorite drinks of all time, half iced tea, half lemonade. The Arnold Palmer is undefeated on a refreshing in the refreshing drink category. Now, if you want to turn your Arnold Palmer into a John Daly, just add vodka. But love me an Arnold Palmer. Probably my most often ordered non-alcoholic beverage, the Arnold Palmer. He is still with us. He turns 61 years old today. Happy birthday, Randy Johnson. The big unit turns 61 today. One of the single most dominating, intimidating pitchers of my lifetime, of your lifetime, of anybody's lifetime. Randy frickin' Johnson, baby. Randy Johnson. Happy birthday, 61 years old today. We have 3 very large television occurrences that happened today. 3 significant things in the history of TV that have happened on today's date, September 10th. In September 10th of 1955, the television show Gunsmoke began airing on CBS, and by the time it ended in 1975, the series was the longest-running Western on American television. As one of the longest-running TV series of all time, Gunsmoke, a little bit before my time. It was a replay that I didn't watch, reruns of, but I know enough about TV history to know that Gunsmoke played a very large role in it. Coming into more modern times, Dominic Pooney's rookie debut was very impressive. I don't know if anybody had a more impressive rookie debut than Alex Trebek. Today in 1984, hosted his first ever Jeopardy show. Alex Trebek left us a few years ago. But what a voice, and, I don't know if there was anyone who brought more intelligence to the history of game show hosting than Alex Trebek did. And look, he might have been a flighty moron, but he had all the answers written on a card in his hand, so he sure sounded smart. No, you could tell that Alex Trebek was just a smart guy, funny guy. I love the Alex Trebek outro, cutaway videos, all the outtakes from Jeopardy. He was funny. He would swear. I liked Alex Trebek, man. And finally, today, in 1993, I'm going to give you some clues here. Let's see if anybody in the chat can guess it. Today in 1993, one of the more interesting, provocative TV series of our lifetimes occurred. This happened right as I was getting into college. And man, there were groups of people who would get together to watch shows in college. Like all dudes would get together to watch sports together in college. Every single woman that I knew in college would get together with her friends to watch Sex and the City during college. They would get together to watch Friends during college. I was never part of the Friends viewing party. I was aware of it, didn't really watch it that often. It was all right. But this show, I did watch an awful lot of. Greg, first guessing, The Sopranos? Nope. That came out. By the way, if you're looking for a great documentary, Wise Guys is a documentary on HBO that is all about David Chase and the making of The Sopranos and how it affected everyone's life. It's a 2-part documentary on HBO. I highly recommend it. Wise Guys, the story of David Chase and The Sopranos. Was it The Simpsons? No, Simpsons started way before that. Sporticus. Way before that, Twin Peaks, right? Shush, nope, not Twin Peaks. Was it 90210? No, not 90210. That started much earlier. Nathaniel Richards, was it NYPD Blue? Good guess. No. Perfect Strangers? No, it was not Cousin Larry and Balky Bartakamos, I think. Wasn't that either. Sean Turner's got it. X-Files. Today in 1993, X-Files, starring David Duchovny and Gillian Anderson, debuted on Fox, and it would develop into a huge cult following. X-Files, early series. Here's the thing, like all shows that don't want to end, it went on a little bit too long, and the, what's really out there thing, will they ever find the alien? Like it went on too long. It didn't conclude in a way that was satisfying. But the first 2, 3, 4 seasons of the X-Files was, to me, as good as television got up to that point. Then we would be introduced later to The Sopranos, to Breaking Bad, to other seminal TV series that you just can't argue with in terms of their greatness. But man, yeah, I mean, the X-Files was a freaking monster. A monster. True Blue forever. Damon, was it Parker Lewis Can't Lose? No, it was not Parker Lewis Can't Lose. I did love Night Court too. Oh, I love Night Court. John Larroquette on Night Court was phenomenal. Dana Scully would. Yeah. Did you know that her name was Scully in tribute to Vin Scully? Because the person that created the X-Files wanted a name that just commanded authority. And he thought Vin Scully had just one of the most authoritative names because he was so good at what he did. He was universally loved that he named Gillian Anderson's character Scully because of Vin Scully. Jude. Chupacabra. What a scary episode. The Chupacabra episode, and then the episode where they found all the rednecks under the bed, like the inbred redneck episode, was one of the freakiest, creepiest episodes of TV I think I would have ever seen. The Quesadilla Thrilla 71, I Want to Believe, right? Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. How about this? I would say that the X-Files had a very identifiable TV theme song, but it wasn't great. One of the things that does not get covered in The Sopranos documentary, which is so good and so comprehensive, they don't give any love to the theme song of The Sopranos. To me, The Sopranos had one of the best theme songs in the history of TV. When you talk about how perfect of a TV show that was, the theme song, it was like so good you never fast forwarded through it. You didn't skip intro. That theme song was so good. Jim Everett the Great. Bruce is cooking. Best show. What, this show or the X-Files? Either way, thank you very, very much for being here, man. Thank you for being here, ladies. Thank you for being here, boys and girls, children of all ages. Thanks to my sponsors. Thanks to everyone who came on by, dropped a like, dropped a subscribe, and I hope that you will be back often, early and often, and we will see you once again at the 2-minute warning. 49ers Vikings. I hope you plan on joining us. We had a huge room, a huge show last night, and hopefully they continue to get bigger and bigger and bigger. And thank you. That's the way it's trending, and it's up to you to keep it trending in that direction. So like, subscribe, notify, all those things. Thank you so very, very much for being a part of today's show, for being a part of this little community, being a part of what I think is the greatest chat. And I want to end showing you this. Oh, I almost forgot this one. Last night, my mother-in-law, Liz, sent me a picture taken by one of her friends who's a season ticket holder, the Loshes. Look at this. How great is this? This is Ricky Pearsall giving autographed jerseys to the police officer who was the first responder to his incident in Union Square. And the woman underneath his other arm is the doctor who worked on him when he got to the hospital. That's great. Frank Gore got, all the love at halftime. I don't know when exactly they did this, but I'm glad they did this. They put it up on the Jumbotron at Levi's. That's a great moment. Look at how happy that police officer is. Look at her. She got herself a jersey. He put a love letter on that jersey too, right? Absolute love letter on that jersey. There's a lot of writing on that number 1. Love that. Hey, love you guys too. Thank you so much for being here today. Again, check out BetUS, 150% deposit match for your first 3 deposits up to $2,000. Use promo code YouTube150. Use promo code Bruce when you check out a Green Gridiron on the link that is in the description of this live feed. Get to Ike's, have a sandwich. Know that you got $3 off a sandwich coming up on Saturday if you use the promo code SAT1. When you order your Ike's, unfortunately, that's not available at Santa Rosa, San Mateo, or Redwood City. And go and get yourself a pint of Guinness at the Dubliner in West Portal. You'll be glad that you did. Football's back. I get frisky when football's back. So thank you for being here. Thank you for being part of the show. And please do remember that sports don't build character. They reveal it. And like that, he's gone.